lost my vision, and that's when I was dead for over 15 minutes, Curt. 8 days after the initial accident on the 16th of February, I was dead for over 15 minutes. And for your viewers out there, and whether you believe or you don't believe, let me tell you right here, right now, there is a heaven, there are angels, and God is as real as you and I are right here, right now.
Did you have what is commonly called a death experience?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Would you share that with our people?
I will. Now, time, people, I was dead on paper for 15 minutes, but I felt like it could have been 15 years. I mean, I know it wasn't, but I saw so many different things, and I can remember, of course in the book we're more detailed on this, but I can remember lifting up, and I love music. I worked as a DJ. I spend probably way too much money on music to this day. I love it, but I love instruments. I own a bunch of guitars myself. I play, and I love to listen to music, but I have never in my life ever heard anything as beautiful as the voices of the angels as I rose through those clouds that day. And they were so happy to see me coming. They were singing me home, as they say. You've heard that expression? They were singing me home, those angels. And I lifted, and I was going up, and then I came to a place. And the only way I can explain it, and God forgive me because I can't put into words here on earth what I saw there, but I try. And it was like a garden, Curt, and there was a gate and a walkway, and I was led up to this wall that the garden was around the garden. And I sat on the wall, and I knew he was coming, and he came and he sat down next to me. And I don't remember our mouths moving or us discussing like you and I are right now, but everything I wanted to know, he let me know. Wow. But the most important thing was he put me at ease, and he lifted all the pain and all the weight of life itself off my shoulders. And I cried, and he dried my tear. And then he told me, I asked him, am I going to get to stay? And he said, no, it's not. I'm not done, and you're not done, and you go back. And I said, well, what for? And he said, you need to tell them I love them. And that's what he told me to tell everybody that I come in contact with. So if you ever see me out in public, I'm going to tell you, God does love you more than you can ever imagine. And I'll have to admit that there were parts of me that doubted before this accident. There's not an ounce of my being right now that doesn't know there's a God. He exists. He's real, and he loves us all more than we can ever. And I'm going to tell you, I knew the night this happened, I was lying there. I was bleeding to death. Both my legs were ripped off of me. No human being could have lived through what I've gone through. There's many doctors, like I've told you before, that know this. There's only one thing that could have saved me, and it was God, and he did. And perhaps this message going out right now will touch one person, and they'll give their life to God, and then it was all worth it. It was all worth it. The pain, the loss of limbs, the loss of vision, and that's what compels me. That's what keeps me going.
What did the doctors think about your recovery? It's so astounding. I mean, what was their reaction?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. I was speaking of this earlier. The morning I left San Antonio, Texas, there was a team of 7 doctors that followed me through all this, and in the book we go in more in depth. I mean, my poor wife Lucy, she had to make decisions. We're going to cut his leg off again. I mean, they whittled on my left leg. I think they amputated to where it is now 3 times. And she had to decide, and I can't imagine. And I tell people I had the easy part. I just had to lay there in a coma. But she had to decide whether or not, God bless her, that and it was tough, but they, and then the death for 15 minutes, and this one young intern says, let's just try one more time. I'm sure God was talking to him, let's just try one more time. After 15 minutes, they don't usually try. They'd already tried 4 times. On the 5th time, they brought me back. On the 5th time, they paddled me and brought my heart back to beating and brought me back to life. And they were the 7 doctors that had followed me from the night I got there. They were all there the morning I was coming back to Kentucky. And they were weeping, and there were women and men alike, doctors. and they were holding my hands, and like I told you, I said, I thought I'd already died and gone to heaven, and this was another band of angels was lifting me again. And I said to one of them, I said, y'all don't mind telling me what's going on? They're like, you're leaving this morning, Mr. Strunk. And I said, oh, I have died. They're letting me know my flight schedule. But anyway, no, he said, this is Dr. So-and-so, and I don't remember their names at this point, but he said, we're 7 doctors that have followed you from the time you got here, the night you got here, till right now. And we'd love to take credit for saving your life, but sir, you are favored by God. God saved your life. It wasn't us. And that was 7 of the finest doctors in the state of Texas that told me that. And they were praying over me and weeping and thanking God for my life. And it's been like that almost every time I've seen any doctor. They just hug me and they love me, and because they know that I am what they cannot learn in a book, and that is God. God created life. God sustains life. He is the ultimate decider of who lives and who dies. So that's my story. That's my witnessing. That's what I tell people. It's not what we want; it's what God wants, and that ultimately is where you have to be in God's graces. Try to be in God's graces and do what His will would be. So I knew the night that I was lying there on the track that I was going to die. But I had a moment with God, and there was a peace that came over me. And little did I know that would be the last time I'd ever look up and see His stars twinkling in the heavens. And a calm came over me, and I knew no matter what happened.
That was the night of the accident.
Exactly. Before the medics got to me and everything, I knew that whatever happened, and Lucy's standing, kneeled down on her knees beside me. I'm bleeding from just about every place a man could bleed from, and my lungs are collapsing. I can't breathe. I'm probably taking what should have been my last breath. God put His hands on me and said, I knew that it was going to be okay. He wasn't going to let me go to hell. He wasn't going to let me die, or if I did die, He was going to bring me home. And He's faithful. And that's it. There is no other, I can't tell you anything else. That's just what it is. And, I float. I don't roll on a wheelchair with no legs. I float back and forth where I go today because I've got the Spirit of God in me. I'm a student at UK.
Tell us about your plans. I mean, you didn't.
This guy named Curt Davis, you may know him.
Oh, well.
He's been a mentor to me. He read me the Bible when I was 16 years old. Took time out of his busy schedule. And Curt, you always have been like a second father to me. I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
But if there's something I can do, I don't want to be a rich, famous lawyer, and I know you're not. But I would love to be able to help people, and if this is where I feel led right now, and believe it or not, being a lawyer isn't a popular thing anymore as far as financial and stuff. But that's not what I'm worried about. I just want to go forth and help people and make the world a better place. That's my goal, whether it's an elected position or whatever. But God will always be with me, and God will always come first.
So your plan then
is to finish college.
To finish college,
and go on.
You're going to UK, University of Kentucky
yes,
now,
sir.
And you plan on enrolling in law school.
Yes, sir. They're at the university.
Well, you can come and practice with me. I'd love to.
Honestly, that's been my goal. I just hadn't sprung it on you yet, but yes, well, I would love to do that. And following your ministry. That's more important to me than anything. And the work that you've done and this programming that you're doing, you've always been a true, faithful servant of God, and I've known that since I was a young man.